And we're live. Hello, you guys. Another Thursday. So, as promised, every Thursday I am going to be coming to you live in this group to do a little happy hour chat. I call it happy hour on Thursdays. That's when my newsletter also goes out. The newsletter is called the Happy Hour Report, and that has my latest blogs, my obsessions of the week, all of that stuff. So my newsletter goes out on Thursday. It's called the Happy Hour Report, which I love. And I'm also going to be doing a weekly live in here on Thursdays, so calling it Happy Hour Chat on brand. So welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see some of you popping in here. Today's tip I think you're going to love, because I think as women in 2018, we are all stressed out. We all experience overwhelm. I've been posting a lot the last couple of weeks that I've just had a lot of like weird energy, a lot of anxiety going on. And a lot of the women that I've been speaking to have been saying the same thing. So like I said, we're all really stressed out. I think you guys are going to love today's tip. And today's tip is that when it comes to your health and fitness routine and your self-care routine and really anything, don't overcomplicate it. I see this all the time. I see people get so overwhelmed by all of the information out there and all of the ideas of what they think they need to be doing, and that it needs to be perfect, and that they need to either be doing it exactly this way, so rigid and perfect and everything on point, or they feel like they just can't do it at all. So when it comes to things like self-care or eating healthy, all of these things, if you can't do it all perfectly, you can still start somewhere. And I always tell my clients, it's one of my favorite phrases, but small hinges swing big doors. So the really small things, those little things that we do every day, really add up. And if you think about it, our current circumstances and our future is not made with the big decisions. It's made by the tiny little choices that we make every second of every day. Every single day, we have thousands and thousands of choices to make. And those little things really add up. So you might start with one small change, and it can be really simple. And over time, if you think about it, if you do one small thing differently for the course of a year, it's going to look really different in a year. So again, small hinges swing big doors. So when you want to make a change in your life in any area, we'll focus on health and fitness today, but in any area, don't overcomplicate it. Don't stress yourself out. Don't make it harder than it needs to be, because then we get freaked out, we get overwhelmed, and we feel like we just can't even start at all, or we can't start anywhere if we don't know how to do it perfectly. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't have an all or nothing mentality. Don't have an all or nothing approach. And this is one of the things that I see my clients get stuck with and have setbacks with the most. And this used to totally be me. I'm very much of an all or nothing person. When Facebook first came out and I was going into college, like one of my quotes on there was like nothing in moderation, which I thought was really cool. And as I've gotten older and wiser, like balance is everything. And the all or nothing thing will kill you. And I'm a recovering perfectionist. Like I have a really hard time, and I've tried to be a perfectionist most of my life, and it's something that I'm really personally working on right now. But when you have that all or nothing mentality, again, then when you fall off track, it really throws you. And it doesn't need to be that hard. You know, you have a bad meal, you have a bad weekend, you have a bad week, whatever, get back to it when you can. And do what feels good, and do what you know, and keep it simple. Keep it really simple, but start somewhere. Because again, if we let it get too big and too overwhelming and too complicated, and we have that all or nothing approach, even day to day, I see this a lot. So if you have a breakfast that is maybe, whatever, you splurge a little bit, or you have a donut in the morning, or frappuccino, or whatever it is, you go to brunch and you have some mimosas, like it doesn't mean the whole day is ruined. Or I see this a lot with holidays, and I used to be the same way. I'm like, okay, well, it's this holiday or it's my birthday, so it's free for all day. And it doesn't have to be that way. It can be one meal, or maybe it is the whole day. But whenever you're ready, it's like, just get back on track and don't make it such a huge thing. Like, oh, well, now I had a bad breakfast, so the whole day is ruined. And now this day is turning into a whole week and it's ruined. And again, it's very, very all or nothing. So really just finding that even keel. Not overcomplicating things. This also ties in with just our perception of food. One thing I really work on with clients, and also in my Battle to Balance online course that's launching in July, is not thinking of foods as good and bad. Because as soon as we put those labels on it and start calling things, I try to even get away from saying junk food, but good and bad. Again, when you're thinking of it as good or bad, then naturally we kind of want the bad things. A good part of us wants to rebel. Like, we all have that. It's human nature. So when you put bad and these labels on food, it kind of makes it more appealing. And anything that we feel like we have to eat becomes less appealing, and things that we feel like we shouldn't eat or can't eat become very appealing. So again, not putting those good or bad labels, and just really taking, like I said, more of an even keel, balanced approach with food. And like I said, with health and fitness, your entire approach, back to the beginning, not overcomplicating things. What I recommend is starting small, starting with something that's very attainable, starting with something you can control, and starting with something that feels good. So again, my big philosophy with everything with health and fitness is really making sure it feels good. So something that you don't mind doing is a great place to start. And start with behavior goals. So this is something I talk about a lot. There's outcome goals and there's behavior goals. For example, an outcome goal is I want to drop 2 sizes by August. Great. Do you have 100% complete control over that? No, we don't. Sometimes other stuff, we can do everything right. And sometimes, especially as females, hormones or whatever, the more you stress it, the more hormones are going to fight you, by the way. But we don't have control over what size we are in August. We really don't. We can, like I said, do all the right things, but we don't have complete control over that. So that's an outcome goal. Now, a behavior goal. I'm going to drink twice as much water from now until August. Do you have complete control over that? Absolutely. So behavior goals are much smarter and much more empowering to set. And the way I like to do behavior goals, and the way I teach a lot of my clients to do this as well, is all you need to do to get results and to see changes is better than what you're doing right now. So just take a really honest look at your life. You don't have to share it with anyone if you don't want to, but take an honest inventory of your life. And if you even want to write down different areas, and just be honest with yourself. How much water am I drinking, honestly, day to day? How much movement am I getting week to week? How many workouts a week? If you track your steps, like Fitbit, like, okay, what's 10,000 steps a day is the number, but look at it. If you're getting 3,000 steps a day, then don't tell yourself you're going to get 10,000, but maybe tell yourself, let's shoot for 5,000. See where you're at, take an honest inventory. Other things you can look at is eating out. Am I dining out a lot of evenings every week, or am I eating out for lunch every day? Can I make that switch? Can I pack a healthy lunch this many days of the week? If you're still a soda drinker, judgment-free zone, diet or regular. How many sodas are you having a week? Can you change that number? Can you cut it in half? Can you decrease it? I do this with my cocktails. If I feel like it's getting out of hand, or I want to just tighten things up a little bit, realistically, how many nights am I drinking? How many drinks am I having? Can I cut that number? I mentioned steps, but any of this stuff, vegetables, how much green vegetables, how many am I consuming per day, per week? Just looking at it, these really, really simple things, and figuring out where you are right now, really honest inventory, and then where can you make these changes, and set up a couple behavior goals, because again, we have complete control over it. So it's very empowering. And go with the things that feel good. Like, you know what? It's not that hard to drink more water, but you're going to see it. You're going to feel it. It's going to affect your energy levels, which make everything better. It makes it easier to get more activity then. You drink more water, you're just going to see it in your skin. It's great for your metabolism. It's going to make a difference. But is it really that hard to drink more water? No. It's not, that unbearable. It's not like saying, oh my gosh, on Monday, everything changes. I'm starting this huge diet and I'm going to cut this and this and this. Ugh, nobody wants to do that. So it's obvious that we, run for the hills when we start to even think about doing that. So again, don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. These little changes, say you drink twice as much water now for a whole year, what will that do for your body? What will that do for your health? What will that do for your energy levels? And all of this stuff works together. It's a domino effect. So you make one small change and it really leads to a lot more. But do it, again, from a place that feels good, something that you don't mind doing. And, choose things that you really, it's doable, it's attainable. And again, start with something that feels good. So those are my tips for the week. Don't overcomplicate. Set behavior goals instead of outcome goals. go with what feels good, do what's attainable, and take that really honest inventory of what you're doing right now and where you can make some changes, where you can make some upgrades. I like to call them upgrades or up leveling, which there's so many different options for how you can make your daily routine a little bit healthier. So, and if you guys ever want specific advice on how to do this or have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And then as far as what's on tap, so what's on tap is every week just bringing you the latest at Crunches Then Cocktails. So new blogs that just came out. We just posted one on cauliflower. It's called Cauliflower is So Hot Right Now, which is like a Zoolander reference. I hope some people get it. I hope some of you get it. But yeah, it's all about cauliflower. I actually put frozen cauliflower in my smoothies. You can make a pizza crust out of it. I like cauliflower rice, all of that stuff. So it's got some cool recipes in there and just talks about cauliflower, how to make your own cauliflower rice. If you don't like cauliflower, not your thing, don't read it. No need. Then there's also a blog on there that is reflections from my honeymoon. So my honeymoon was just obviously a great trip, really great time with my husband, but it was also a super important time in my life because it was the first vacation in my whole life that I felt really comfortable in my skin, really confident in my body. I frolicked around on the beach in like a really cheeky back swimsuit, and you know, I've been leaner, I've been thinner in my life, but this was the only time that I felt really, really confident and comfortable in my own skin. And that was because of the work that I've done, especially over the past year. I mean, it's been a lifelong journey, I guess, but over the past year, the real transitions that I've made and the changes I've made in my mindset and just the way I approach my body, my health, everything. So the blog is all about that, and I just get a little bit more in depth with that, and it's called Reflections from My Honeymoon. And then let's see here, what else we have on tap. We still have that Pure Barre special. So if anyone is local in Whitefish Bay, so in the Milwaukee area, Whitefish Bay, there is a Pure Barre code now through the end of June where you can get 2 weeks of unlimited classes for free, which is an amazing deal. Pure Barre is my latest workout obsession. I love it. I love the classes so much. It's really strengthening my core and I really enjoy it. The whole class just flies by, which is a bonus when you're working out. And the happy hour report, I mentioned in the beginning here. So if you're not subscribed to that, be sure to subscribe. It's got all kinds of great content every week. Every Thursday it comes out. And finally, my Battle to Balance program. So this is my online course. It's all of my favorite coaching lessons, nutrition, self-love, all of that stuff packed into 6 weeks of content, an online course, and it launches on July 1st. But if you enroll before July 1st, you can save $100 off enrollment. And then there's also a code if you type in 10%, 10 and the word percent, I'll post it here. But if you type in 10%, you get an additional 10% off the enrollment fee. So if you guys have any questions about that, if you have any questions about what I talked about today or anything ever, I am here for you guys. And one more thing, I just want to say thank you guys for all of the awesome posts. I love it that you guys are sharing more and more in the group and sharing some really awesome like quotes and memes and pictures and really awesome stuff. I love that you guys really get it, you know, get the mission of this group, and you're really joining in and sharing things, and I love that. So keep doing that. I really appreciate it. It's great to see your perspective on things and the quotes that you find and the things that inspire you. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a part of this community. Please continue to do that. And otherwise, just wishing you guys an awesome Thursday. So until next time.